Hello, everyone. You are watching the video Bearing a Healthy Attitude Towards Mental Health Issues. As the title describes, this video is actually a sort of casual sharing session of dealing with mental health issues positively in life. Before I talk more about that, allow me to introduce myself. So, I currently teach in an international school in the Klang Valley of Malaysia. And one of the subjects I teach this year is the subject moral. Then when I was given this subtopic to teach, mental health, I suddenly thought like, as a teacher, if I wanted to raise awareness on mental health and to teach my younger generation to have a positive attitude towards mental health, why not I actually invite a very good friend of mine whom I have personally seen struggle with his issues, okay, and he still struggles here and there once in a while, but definitely he's a strong, I consider him a very strong friend, worth and pretty, and a person I admire in terms of this. So that's why that leads us to this video today. Okay, uh, I have here with me Shi Hong. Hey, Shi Hong, whom I know in since my university time in 2013. Yeah, so that's my goals for this interview. Uh, Before I continue, let me add there are some questions used in this interview, and these questions are from my students. Okay, if anyone wants to know. Hey, Shi Hong, can you introduce yourself?
Okay, hello everyone. As Eunice has mentioned, my name is Xu Hong. I'm a pianist who graduated from UCSI University. Currently, I'm working as a piano teacher. Besides teaching piano, I do play chamber music with my friends and sometimes being piano accompanies for recital, masterclass, and competition.
Okay, thank you for the introduction. And yes, so Shi Hong is a musician. Okay, and we both graduated in the same year with degrees in piano performance. Okay, so I knew Shi Hong since 2013. Then he was diagnosed with anxiety disorder, OCD, depression, and OCD in December of 2016. So, my question to you, Shi Hong, how did you get into those situations?
Okay. So as Eunice mentioned, I was diagnosed of having anxiety disorder, depression, and obsessive compulsive disorder, which is so-called OCD, in December 2016. So there are many reasons that can cause the mental health issues. So from my point of view and according to my own experience, I personally categorize them into two parts. Okay, they are unconsciously suppression and sudden accident. So normally the common issues regarding the unconsciously suppressions is bully and abuse, usually happens in our childhood experiences. So these abuses and bullies can be from the people, including our parents or friends. So, but nowadays, what I observe that the more common reasons that cause us into this trouble is a lot of extreme expectations for ourselves. For example, right, we like to compete and compare ourselves to others. So sometimes we will force ourselves to do something before a certain age. There are so many achievements we force ourselves to do it, but it's not really come from the bottom of our heart. We just follow the public opinions to achieve something. That's why days by days it will becomes an unconsciously suppression, and until a day we cannot handle it anymore, okay, then it will become a mental illness for us. So at the same time, when we have these unconsciously suppressions day by day, some people are very strong. They can handle it very well, but we have no idea what will happen at the next movement. That's why lead to my second part, sudden accident. So please give me more time to share my experience about this sudden accident. So in 2015, August, I think it was 14 August, Fridays, I was having my breakfast in my university and it was 10 a.m. o'clock. Suddenly, I received a call from a friend of my mom. During that call, she was crying like hell, you know, and she kept crying and told me that there was something happened to my family. And by listening to her voice, right, I can expect that something very serious has happened to my family. But she knew that I will be having an exam at 5 p.m. on the same day. So she didn't want to reveal the truth that will affect my my progress to that exam. So after that, after I have done my exams, my younger brother was the one who told me the truth that my mom was passed away because of an accident in the morning. So you see, I can handle all the suppressions until that day, but because of that sudden accident, it's really changed my life. And there was a day I suddenly have some problems with my mental illness, and I was diagnosed of all the mental illness that I have mentioned before. So this is all the reasons I can tell.
Okay, right. Before we move on, I actually want to add on to that, okay? Because Shi Hong and I have been friends for all these years, and I saw his struggle. Yeah, I saw his struggle with the breaking of the news, okay, of his mom's pass away. But at the same time, I also saw him shoulder even more burdens after that because, of course, when one person leaves, the roles or the invisible work around the house or those have to be taken over by someone. Yeah, and Ji Hong suddenly had to take over a lot of responsibilities that was once a part of his own mom's. Yeah. So it's not really just about passing of someone, but it's the things that came after that that also exacerbated his situation. Yeah. That's why I would say Shi Hong's is very admirable, being strong in all those tough situations. Okay, Shi Hong, so what expectations did you have of yourself? Early on, you said you have society had expectations of, you know, uh, what you should achieve before a certain age. How about you? Personally, what expectations did you have of yourself?
I see. Uh, First of all, there's a expectation for myself before I enter to UCSI University to study classical music. My original plan was to pursue until doctorate and become the lecturer in the university. So I expect that this is the thing that I really want to do, that I really wish to do from the bottom of my heart. But until year 3, we all have the graduation recital that we need to do to complete our studying. So after that graduation recital, I went back to my accommodation and I suddenly feel so lost that I have suppressed my stress facing all the obstacles until I have done my graduation recitals. So what next? I keep asking myself, what will be my next movement. And when I calm myself, then I think about my dreams again, pursuing doctorate and become a lecturer in the university. I have a strong feeling from my heart that show that this is not really what I want actually. Then I only realized that I want to do it is because people think this is very good for me. So I just go and do it. Then after, if I achieve this, I might be able to amaze the public. This is what I really realized after that graduation recital. So this is one of the expectations, extreme expectations from others people and for myself. So the other thing is, as you see, as you mentioned just now, there was many responsibility that I have to take it after that accident, right? So it is very true because I am the eldest son in the family. So, you know, my father was having a very serious operation after that. So his personalities was changed also, that he easily got so angry to someone. So at that time, right, some certain people from the public, they don't understand the real issues happening in my family. So they will keep telling me that he is your father. No matter how angry to you, you should tolerate. You cannot do anything. You shouldn't give a bad reaction. So day by days, right, it will become a very extreme suppression, which is very unhealthy.
Yeah,
So this
it's
is
more
all
like
the experience that I have.
it's more like they want you almost felt guilty for being frustrated at your dad's behaviors also, from what you explained.
Yes, so naturally and unconsciously, I'm not allowing myself to make mistake, to feel guilty. To feel that I'm right. I need to be always apologize that everything that I have done.
I see. Yeah, so it was more of, yeah, that time you also faced suppressions of your own expression.
Mm.
Okay, then my next question for you is, what were your struggles with anxiety, depression, and OCD?
Oh, patients with mental illness really struggling a lot. I still remember it was a Saturday in November 2016 also. I was resting on a sofa after 7 hours of teaching. Suddenly, I felt something attack my brain. I mean, some forces attack my brain from the bottom of my backbone. Then my head was paralyzed. I was sweating seriously and losing all the body senses. That time, I was even holding a phone that I wanted to call my relative, but my hand was so numb until I can't feel anything on my hand.
Mm.
Okay, so after I have been diagnosed of having all this mental illness, I only realized that this is called anxiety attack. This is called anxiety attack. It was very scary, until I intend to commit suicide to end this pain because it's too struggling. You don't know what you should do. So after that day, I have many weird behavior, such as keep checking the window whether it is closed or opened. Okay, then the button or the switch for the light and all the gas for the stove. Okay, and keep washing my hand, using all the Dettol, using all the Dettol, washing my hand until my hand become very dry. Okay, then I was always feeling sad, cold, and empty. And there are many uncontrollable thoughts, even sound hallucinations. And all these symptoms could happen in any time. sleeping, working, doing assignment, talking, even driving, And I can share with you, there was a day, right? I was driving in a halfway back to my place, that where I stay. Suddenly, the anxiety attack happened again. So I have no choice but to park in a petrol station. And normally, right, for a healthy person, we just park normally and open the door very calm, and we get out from the cars very normally, very calm, something like that. But that time I couldn't do that. I parked the car in a very frustrated way and quickly opened the door. And I was dropped out from the car, instead of just normally get out from the car. Then my whole body was lying against the wall and keep crying for nothing, breathing very fast. So I quickly call one of my friends to come and accompany me, because I very worrying that I might do something not necessary to hurt myself. And that friend was very good as well, because that time he was in a choir lesson. So he quickly told the professor that he need to leave to accompany me because of my situations like that. So this is all one of two of my very serious struggling that I had during that time.
I see. Okay, so just now you mentioned like it was an anxiety attack. Your sensation of your body was an anxiety attack, but your behavior after that sounds more like OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, where
Yes.
to handle your unnecessary thoughts, you will do some unnecessary extra movements. Yeah, so so is anxiety, the symptoms of anxiety and OCD, did they overlap? The behaviors overlap, or can you actually categorize them? Or
Yeah, correct. According to what I know, all these mental illness, they have their own categories. It's true, but I can tell you, for the patients like us, the patients with mental illness, once we get a mental illness like an anxiety disorder or depressions itself first, following the days, the other mental illness will happen to us as well. Okay, so usually a patient, we will have a very main mental illness first, then following by the others mental illness that will affect us as well. So for my case, my main problem is anxiety disorder. But after this illness, I start to check all the things frequently. And even like what I have mentioned, feeling cold, empty, and feeling sad always. So you see, I have my anxiety disorder first, but my depressions and OCD gradually come to me as well. This
okay.
is all the patients like us struggling.
I see. So it's usually just not one, but it could be a mixture. All right. Yeah, that's
Yes.
quite new to me. Right.
Mm.
Okay. So we know about your struggles, and if not because you have learned to handle them, you won't be with us today talking about your story. So what is your process for recovery?
Oh, okay. Seeking for treatment, right, was an issue for me that time due to lacking of the knowledge about mental illness. So I was so lost until the extent when people was suggesting certain treatment to me, and I just went for it without a second thought. Okay, without thinking whether it is safe or it is suitable or not. I just went for it because I was so lost. I couldn't help myself. I don't know what would happen to me. Okay, so in the process of seeking for treatment, I met many uncommon and unethical treatments, including some religious treatment and unethical doctor who applied the medications which is not suitable for me, and it cost me a lot in terms of finance and serious side effect. So throughout all this treatment, my situation was getting worse. So when the time I almost give up, there was a friend who was the patient with mental illness. She had a very serious depression. So she introduced me a very famous hypnotherapist whose name's Dr. Ko Tek Yen from Pandai Hospital, which is located in Bangsa, Kuala Lumpur. So this is where I have my turning points of my life, because he did really save my life, you know. So after that, I also met a family doctor who knows how to treat the patients like me. So this was where I had my medications called Lexapro.
Okay. Okay, so those were your treatments. One was the religious treatment, then the second was the unethical doctor, then you met a hypnotherapist, and finally you are now treated by a family doctor. Okay, can you explain more about your religious treatment? What went
Oh,
on
I
in your
see.
religious treatment?
Okay. That time, because of also one of my friends, she introduced me to an Indian's religions actually. So they believe in these religions, right? They believe the third eyes can treat all the illness. Yeah, to treat all the illness from the people. And they believe the patients with mental illness like us is caused by karma. So if you know what is karma, okay, so they think and they believe they can use a third eye to cut off my karma, so my illness will recover. So I just tried that because, as I say, I was so lost. I just went for anything and tried anything without second thought. But you know, as all the people like them, right, who has a superpower like that, the third eye, you know, some of their personality can be very strong. So the
Be
way
very
they talk, right,
strange.
can strange, and the way they talk, right, sometimes can be very rude, you know. This one I don't want to go further. I only can say sometimes the way they talk give you a very stress, you know, give you
Oh,
very stressed. So I felt very uncomfortable, and my situation is getting worse and worse. Okay, and I found it's not really useful for me. This
okay.
is the very weird experiences that I had.
So it's not exactly that the treatment didn't work, but you had clashes with the persons themselves, and of course more stress from what they were asking you to do. Okay,
Yes,
right.
yes.
Okay, how about the unethical doctor? So you said they were charged, you were charged very highly for the treatment. How highly? I
Uh,
don't really get that.
I was really angry to this doctor. This doctor, I could tell you that his clinic is located in Cheras, but I couldn't say the name because I want to avoid any conflict. Okay, so this doctor, the first time I met him, he was giving me only two pills, you know, two pills. Then he said these two pills can calm down, calm myself down. So one of the pills cost me about 60 ringgit. So in totals, it cost me about 120 ringgit just for two pills. Okay, a very
Two
small
pills?
pill.
Wait. So one individual pill is 60, not one box pill.
No, just one pill. Okay, so
Oh,
I can see the pharmacist took out the two pills from a yellow boxes, and you know, on that boxes, right, I can see the bone. You know, the symbol of a bone. I don't really know the name. Okay, the bone with a restricted symbol. You know, I was so
uh,
scary, you know, that time. But I just tried to believe that doctor. So after that, I took my first pill at that night. So I didn't bluff. I do not bluff, you know. The fact is, after I have that pills, right, I can feel my brain, you know, was blended into juice, you know, that kind of feelings. Okay, was blended. It's like you throw an apple to the blending machines and become a juice like that. That kind of feeling, you
So
know.
that's the feeling. Oh, ow. Oh
Okay,
no.
you can feel the muscle of your head keep moving, you know. Okay, then your visions, right, suddenly becomes too bright. So like the wall in white color, right, you can see very bright, you know. It's all too shiny in front of your eyes.
Like
Okay, you
Colgate
feel so
color.
dizzy. Yeah. You feel so dizzy, you know. Then I thought it will calm down myself and I can sleep well, but instead I get insomnia because of that aggressive sensations from my body, you know. So the next day, you know, for patients like us, when we have this problem, right, the next day we will automatically quickly go and see the doctor again, right? But this doctor is very rude, you know. He scolded me instead, you know. He said, why didn't you have two pills first? Then you only came to me. Okay. Then I explained to him very patient and explained all the issues that I had at the previous night. He was so angry, you know, and he keeps saying nonsense to me, like he has so many customers outside, he couldn't explain to me more and more. So he just took out empty paper and write a recommended letter for me and asked me to go to the hospital. That's it. And that letters like this one, like this kind of paper, cost me about 30 ringgit. So after that, when I reached my home, I just throw the pills to the rubbish. I don't care. Even though it was 60 ringgit for one pills, I just throw it out. Okay. Then the letter I just put away. And that time I was so lost and I almost give up. And I can say this was the last treatment before I met my hypnotherapist.
Okay.
So this is all the crazy experience that I have.
I see. Yeah. It sounds out of the world enough already. Right. So so you mentioned that you were treated by a hypnotherapist. Now, my understanding of hypnotherapy is that, like what the media portrays, the doctor would swing a pendulum in front of you and say, you know, like you are getting sleepy or you're forgetting your stresses or whatnot. So how far is reality from what is portrayed or what we all think about hypnotherapy?
Basically, what you say is kind of basic theory for hypnotherapies, but you know, as a movie, right, they like to show the dramatic effect, so they are making the things more serious. Okay, actually, it's not really like that. Throughout the treatment, right, the hypnotherapeutic treatment, the setting was very simple. When I went into the room, there were only two sofas, a very comfortable sofa, and hypnotherapy and I. That's it. Without any tools, without any facilities. Okay, two sofa, two persons. That's it. So,
Wow.
what is the main concept for hypnotherapy is he will use certain hypnotherapeutic practices to help you find the root problem that cause you mental illness. Okay, that cause you of having mental illness, and help you to accept what you couldn't accept currently. Okay, in order to help you process and have a progress to the recovery. So this is a very simple way to explain it. Okay, so of course, if we want to talk about what are those practices in this interview, they can take 1 more hours. So I just explain the simple theory, simple knowledge for you all. If you really want to know more, I think Eunice, because I have sent a picture to Eunice about that doctor. Okay, if you want to know more, right, I think you can contact them if you need the helps from them, or you can search it from the Google. Yeah, he is a very famous hypnotherapist. You can Google him everywhere.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay.
Mm,
Yeah, I'm definitely putting that up in our video. Okay,
okay.
so that was official medical treatment. How about self-care? I do know that you have take care, you have your own routines to take care of yourself.
Yeah, self care plays a very important role in the process of recovery beside treatment. Okay, if you just rely on treatment, the recovery will be very slow and not effective enough. So I myself, I have done many exercises every day, but instead of competitive exercises, I do a lot of comfort, relax exercise like yoga, meditations, slow walking in the park, okay, breathing exercise, and any therapeutic exercise which taught by my hypnotherapist. Okay. So other than that, I also approach myself to aromatherapy, okay, as a
Mm.
support to my recovery beside the hypnotherapy. Okay. On the other hand, I avoid myself from any caffeine and carbonated drinks. Okay. I even take care of the balance of nutrition. Okay. Eating more veggie and fruit instead of spicy or fried food that will trigger my emotions. Okay. Then lastly, I also avoid myself keep listening to all the unnecessary public opinions or moral coercions from the media, from the books, from any place. So I just keep learning myself to know myself better, what I really want, but at the same time, not to be ego, but being humble and willing to listen to other people advice smartly.
Mm.
Yeah, this is all the lifestyle, the new habits that I captivate myself. Okay,
Mm.
that I want to instill myself day by day.
I see. Okay, so what surprised me was that you actually avoid spice and fried foods. This is
Mm,
kind of unexpected to me because after all, in Malaysia we eat nasi lemak, we eat sambal, we eat all sorts of what ayam goreng and all sorts of spice
yes.
and fried foods. So that is something unexpected for me. So
Yeah, because
is your
you
diet
know, mhm.
is your diet advised by your nutrition advisor, or you just tested out all of these by yourself?
I have a nutrition coach. I have a nutrition coach. Then actually, this is very personal. Sorry, this is a very personal thing. You know, for the other people's right, or other patients with mental illness, right, all these spicy or fried foods might not be
Oh,
affect them becomes worse. Okay, but for myself, right, after I have all the caffeine, carbonated drinks, all the spicy and fried food, I don't know why my whole persons will become a bit nervous, a bit rushed, a bit hectic, and also a bit nervous after I have all these kind of food and drinks. I don't know why. I think this is just my body, my
I
body
see.
conditions.
So that's
That's why I
actually
stopped.
very subjective.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So okay.
As you know, all this story I just speak from my point of view because this is a true story that happened to me. But I cannot say every patient have the same will have the same experience like me. Okay, some of them might be either worse than me. You know. Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I guess everyone have to try what works for them and what doesn't work for them.
yes.
Okay. What what should a person, a healthy person, not say to mental health patients based on your own
Okay.
experience?
Yeah. This is a very good question. Actually, there are many misconceptions of communication between people and the patients with mental illness. Even though the very famous celebrities or famous people in this world, right? They even couldn't understand how to really talk to all these patients. Uh, Commonly, right, the public likes to comfort us by saying like, you should stop thinking too much, or asking us switch the focus on another things like doing sport, working, talking to friends. But I just want to tell you all honestly, right? All these comfort ways are very dangerous to us, because actions of thinking too much is uncontrollable to us. Okay, instead, forcing ourselves to stop thinking too much might lead us to worse situation. Okay, at the same time, right, we do not have enough stamina and spirit to do many things, but only resting. And so in conclusion, right, what we really need is just a simple companionship and accompaniment instead of too many motivational words. A lot of people don't understand, a lot of patients like me, right, when we listen, keep hearing people asking us to stop thinking too much, actually we are very angry. We are like, we will think like, of course I know I shouldn't think so much, but it's uncontrollable, it's not what I really want to do.
Yeah.
This is
So it's
our
just
feelings.
useless advice. Advice that you already
and
know, but you still can't do anyway.
and some of the people, they even ask me like, you are a man, oh my gosh, you need to be strong. Do you know you are a man? Why you have all these problems like that? Hey, seriously, I'm not bluffing. This is my true
It's so
story.
sexist. Really sex. Oh my.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not bluffing. This is really true. I'm not lying for anything here.
Yeah. Well,
Mm.
on hindsight, maybe I shouldn't be too surprised because we are in an Asian society.
Yeah, I should say the people in the society should learn how to be more empathetic and sympathetic.
I agree. Totally agree.
Mm.
Totally agree. Okay. Yeah. Long time ago, you actually told me this analogy where if you hit a person, then you tell that person not to feel pain. Can that person do it? So that was your analogy, and I would say it's a good question. Yeah, about stop thinking too much. Actually, it's pretty silly to actually tell them not to think too much when actually you're just ignoring the pain or trying to ignore the pain.
Yeah, as you
Yeah,
said, it's very simple. If I hit you, then I ask you, don't feel pain. So it
yeah.
will lead
Actually,
to a
yeah.
suppression. It will lead a very serious suppression.
I see. Yeah. Suppressing your expressions. All right. Right. I think we are coming to a close in our video. So, so do you have any advice for anyone out there who's watching this video and who is struggling on their own with mental health
Mm.
issues?
Honestly speaking, I really wish to tell every patient like me, okay, take this illness as a blessing. You don't think it as a very serious sickness or this is very abnormal things. No, just take it as an illness. Just take it as a blessing. Okay, it is just a sign. Okay, they tell us it's time to change our lifestyle and accept certain things that we can't accept before and let go of our ego. Okay, then I strongly encourage for those patients, right, taking a chance to learn and practice mindfulness. So basically, mindfulness means you learn to accept and sense all the things currently happen to you. Okay, if you want to learn more, you can search Google as well or find a therapist to teach you. Okay, It's a very simple thing actually from the start. Okay. So currently I'm still struggling sometimes. Therefore, I keep practicing mindfulness and some hypnotherapeutic exercise taught by my hypnotherapist. Okay. And before I end my talking, right, I wish to take this opportunity, right, in this recording, okay, in this interview, to apologize to all my friends, all the people who were surrounding me before, because that time, right, I was too frustrated. I can't do anything really well, you know. I could tell you, Eunice, in my year 3, right, it was a really disaster for me. I couldn't focus
Disaster.
my studying because
Okay.
you know when the time when I have my mental illness, right, I think it was our year 3, year 3 second semester. That time I was so frustrated. I can't really communicate with my friends well, and it leads to a lot of misunderstanding between my friend and I. Okay. Yeah, some of you might be kind enough to say this is not my fault, but I still want to apologize to all the people, okay, which I unconsciously hurt them or saying unnecessary things. Okay, so lastly, I would like to say, right, in this hectic society, every single of us have the high risk to have mental illness actually, you know. So I wish every one of you can live well and always stay healthy. So this is all my wishes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Shi Hong, for all your well wishes. Definitely to the audience out there, I also wish everyone same thing. Stay happy, stay safe, as what Dr. Mike always says. I hope you learned a lot from this video and that it benefits you. So thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.